Hello guys, welcome to the 400 biology series, and this is the part 1. Now pay attention to the question. Now we're not just looking at the question, the solutions, because the solution leads to other questions. Because one question, the solution of one question, or the explanation to one question settles all other questions. You can't follow this series and your score will be low. It's not possible. You can't follow this series and not be among the 350 gang. Quickly, let's go. This is the part 1. So part 1, 10 questions as you move. Now the first question says that these are the questions they revolve around. Please follow and pay attention. The companion cells are part of the option A, say the pericycle, option B talk about the phloem, option C talk about the pitch, option D talk about the xylem. The companion cells are part of. Please pick your answer fast. While you are choosing your answer, first I would like you to know that we're giving pericycle, we're giving the phloem, we're giving the pitch, we're giving the xylem. First, hope you know that xylem is a tissue. I explained that when I was teaching the tissues of plants. Xylem is a tissue, and as a tissue, it consists of 4 cells. I call them the TVPF. The trachid elements, the trachid, vessel elements, parenchyma, and your fibers, TVPF. Why the phloem has what we call the phloem to our tissues. It consists of cells. I call them the SCPF. So we have the sieve tubes, the companion cells, the parenchyma, and the fibers. Look at it. Both of them have parenchyma and fibers. Parenchyma and fibers. Are you seeing that? But for xylem, we have your trachid, we have your vessel element. For phloem, we have your sieve tubes, and we have your companion cells. So the question is, the companion cells are part of course, the companion cells are part of the or the phloem. When we talk about pericycle, it's just the outer layer of roots where lateral roots emerge from. I'm going to throw more light on that. Why the pitch is just simply the center of a plant. The pitch is the center of a plant. So the answer becomes your phloem. Everybody, what are the cells of the phloem? We have the sieve tubes, the companion cells, the parenchyma, and the fibers. Are you seeing that? While the cells of the xylem are the trachid, the vessel elements, the parenchyma. The acronym for xylem is TVPF. While for phloem is SCPF. Of course, making option B to become the answer. I went for that to give you reason by explaining to you that your xylem is a tissue that consists of your trachid, your vessel element, your parenchyma, and your fibers, which is called a TVPF. While the phloem too is a tissue that consists of your sieve element, your companion cells, your parenchyma, and fibers. They ask you what do they have in common. Both of them have parenchyma and fibers, parenchyma and fibers. Now I want to talk about your pericycle. Pericycle is a layer of a cell found in the roots, responsible for producing lateral roots. Are you seeing that? It's responsible for producing lateral. Why I want to talk about your pitch. Pitch is the central part of stems and roots. I explained this when I was talking about of plant nutrition, majorly made up of parenchyma cells, and they help to store nutrients. Now, let me give you a meta picture of what xylem look like and what phloem look like. All eyes on the diagram. Remember that we said that the cells of the xylem are the TVPF. Cells of the xylem are your TVPF, while cells of the phloem are SCPF. You can see the trachids. You can see the vessel elements. These are the vessel elements. You can see the trachid, the vessel elements. You can see the fibers, which are called the xylem fibers. You can see the parenchyma. Do you understand? Here too, you can also see the sieve tubes. These are the sieve tubes. Are you seeing that? You can see the sieve tubes. You can see your companion cells. These are your companion cells. And you can see your parenchyma. You can also see your fibers. Do you understand? Now, if you say you understand that, take note. Now, if I go further to explain to you, take note that the sieve tubes, now, why do we call them companion cells? Take note that the sieve tubes do not have nucleus. Because the sieve tubes do not have nucleus, they need to carry out metabolic activities. So they now have companion cells attached to them. The companion cells have nucleus. So because the companion cells are attached to the sieve tubes, they are now called companion cells because the sieve tubes do not have nucleus. Because they do not have nucleus, the companion cells have nucleus. And because the companion cells help the sieve tube to carry out metabolic activities, they now call them companion cells. Look at it. The sieve elements do not have nucleus, but they are living. The companion cells have nucleus. Now, these cells control that's the companion cells. Now, they control the metabolic activities of the sieve tubes. Hence, their name companion cells. Now, everybody, all eyes on the diagram. These are the sieve tubes. Look at them. They are called tubes. They are like tubes. Are you seeing them? These tubes do not have nucleus, but they are living. And they need to carry out metabolic activity. Hope you know that the nucleus helps to control metabolic activities of the cell. So, attached to these sieve tubes are what we call what? Look at it, cells that have nucleus. Because these cells, these are their nucleus. Because these cells that are attached to the sieve tube have nucleus, we now call those cells companion cells. What are they doing? They are companion, or they are helping the sieve tubes to carry out metabolic activity because they have nucleus. Do you understand that? Now, let me also say something. We say, what are the cells of the xylem? We say the TVPF. What are the cells of the phloem? We say the SCPF. Take note that tracheids are dead, vessel elements are dead, fibers are dead. The only one living among them is your parenchyma. So if they ask you among the xylem, which of them is living? Parenchyma. Are you seeing? So parenchyma is only living among the dead. Tracheid is dead, vessel element is dead, fibers are dead. But if you come here, take note that for your phloem, seed elements are living, companion cells are living, parenchyma are living. The only dead among the living is fibers. Take note of that statement. Please, no difference between the cells of the xylem and the cells of the water of the phloem. Now, quickly, let me classify. I did that in the teaching, but let me still classify how is the classification of tissues in plants. Take note that plant tissues are divided into two. We have what we call the meristematic tissue and the permanent tissue. We have the meristematic tissue, we have the permanent tissue. What are the meristematic tissue? The meristematic tissue are your apical meristem, your lateral meristem, and your intercalary meristem. Look at it. We have your apical meristems, your lateral meristems, your intercalary meristems. Now, the process whereby meristematic tissues become permanent tissues is what we call differentiation. You've heard of that? The process whereby tissues take permanent role. That process is called differentiation. Now, what are your permanent tissues? Permanent tissues are divided into your simple and your complex. Are you seeing that? What are the simple permanent tissue? We have what we call the PCS. I call them the PCS. What are the PCS? The parenchyma, the collenchyma, and the sclerenchyma. Look at it. The parenchyma, the collenchyma, and the sclerenchyma. Now, what are the complex tissues? They are just two: the xylem and the phloem. Please, this is your classification of plant tissues. Plant tissues are divided into meristematic and permanent. What are the meristematic tissues? We have the apical meristem, the lateral meristem, and the intercalary meristem. While under the permanent, we have what to call the simple and the complex. The simple is called the PCS, the parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma. While the xylem. Now, what's the function of xylem? Xylem are the water conducting tissues. What about phloem? This one they help for food translocation. So this is for water. This is for for food translocation. Now, among parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma, we are listing the common asked question. Among parenchyma, collenchyma, which of them is dead at maturity? Take note that sclerenchyma are dead. Why? Because they contain what we call lignin. Constant past question. Who are dead at maturity? Who is dead? Collenchyma. Why are they dead? Because they contain lignin. Don't forget that collenchyma are made up of two cells, what we call the sclerids. Sclerid are also called your stone cells. And this is sclerid and two your fibers. So sclerenchyma, they are dead at maturity. Why are they dead? Because they contain lignin. And what are the two cells that make up sclerenchyma? We have your sclerid, also called your stone cell, and your fiber cells. While your apical meristem, they have for growth of apical branch, apical areas. While lateral meristem, they have for to increase width. While intercalary, they have for the roots. Let me show you from this diagram. Look at it. Take note that we said that meristematic tissue are tissues that undergo permanent changes. Meristematic tissue undergo permanent tissue to become specialized cells. That process whereby meristematic tissues become permanent tissue, that process is what we call your differentiation. They ask you in the exam, what differentiation? Is the process whereby meristematic tissue undergo permanent changes to become specialized cells in plants. That's how we say under your permanent tissue, they are divided into your simple and your complex. Your simple, we have the PCS, the parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma. While the complex, we say we have the xylem and the phloem. Quickly, if you say you understand that, let's take the next question. Constant questions that they ask, you must know them and how we can use them to connect to other questions. The second question says that cilium is absent in animals termed as. Everybody, those of you that will be following the classes, learning classes, you'll be getting these answers at the drop because we've covered all this. Cilium is present in the classes of animals termed. Now, what are cilium? We'll tell when we talk about cilium, there are spaces between the abdominal, the anterior abdominal wall, and the viscera. That space, what we call cilium. Now, we said that animals, first of all, what are the classification of life. Life is classified into 5 kingdoms. We have the kingdom Monera, we have the kingdom Protista, we have the kingdom Fungi, we have the kingdom Plantae, and we have the kingdom Animalias. The kingdom Animalias are divided into 2. We have the invertebrates and we have the vertebrate. Under the invertebrate, we have the PCP Namia. Under the invertebrate, we have the PCP Namia. What are the PCP Namia? We have the what? The protozoa, the coleterata, the plantae, the nematoda, the annelid, the mollusca, your arthropod, and your what? Echinodimata. While under your vertebrate, we have what to call the what? The param. There are 5. We have the what? The spices, the amphibians, the reptiles, the aves, and the what? And the mammals. Now the question say which of these? Take note that please your nematodes are the benchmark for psyllium. Look at it from protozoa, coleterata, your plantae. These ones are said to be acoelomate. That means acoelomate means they lack true psyllium. And you see that. Why these nematodes are said to be pseudo. While from your annelid upward are said to be psylliomata. I take that again. Your protozoa, coleterata, plantae are acoelomate. That means they lack true psyllium. While nematode, they are pseudo-psyllium. They are false psyllium because their psyllium is occupied by fluid. While from your annelid, mollusca, your arthropods, and your echinodimata are said to be what? This one they have what? Psyllium. So the question is, psyllium is absent in what class? Of course, mollusca, these ones they have what? Psyllium. Arthropods, they have what? Psyllium. Reptiles, they have psyllium. Coleterata, look at it. We say your protozoa, your coleterata, they are acoelomate, they do not have psyllium, making option B to become the answer. Option B become the answer. Of course, option B become the answer. Let me explain that to you. We say that life is divided into 2. Either you are what? You are prokaryotic cells, or you are what? Eukaryotic cells. We explained that before. Prokaryotic cells are cells that they are the content of their cell, or they lack a nuclear membrane. Any cells that lack nuclear membrane are said to be called prokaryotic, while those that have nuclear membrane are said to be called eukaryotic. Under the prokaryotic, we have one kingdom, which is the kingdom Monera. What are the members of the kingdom Monera? Your bacteria. While under your eukaryotic, we have 4 kingdoms. The first kingdom, we have the kingdom Protista, which have your apectipi and weba protozoa. We now have your kingdom Fungi, which are your mycota. We have your kingdom Plantae. Under your Plantae is when we have things like your Talophyta, your Bryophyta, your Pteridophyta, your Stomata. Stomatophytes are divided into 2, your Gymnosperm and your Angiosperm. We now say we have your kingdom Animalia. Now the kingdom Animalia now are now divided into 2. Right, we have what to call the invertebrate and the vertebrate. What are the invertebrate? PCP Namia, PPCP Namia. Now we have the protozoa. Now we have the porifera. O level don't really teach porifera. Jamb doesn't ask much on porifera. Now we have the coleterata. We have the plantae. I told you that from these parts they are acoelomata. While nematode are the bench part. Nematode are your pseudo. Pseudo means false psyllium, while these ones are said to be your psylliomata. So take note, if they ask in the exam why vertebrates are said to be param, all these ones they have psylliomate. Do you understand that? If you understand that, let's take the next question. You see how we're using one question to connect other dots. Are you following? This is just practical revision. The constant question they revolve around. We are going all the way to 400. So quickly, 400 unbeatable questions that when you are done with them, my brother, you to self you will confirm. After the exam, you will testify. The question say we have anaerobic respiration different from aerobic. When I taught respiration, I gave 6 difference between anaerobic and aerobic. The first one we said is that this anaerobic does not involve oxygen, while aerobic involve oxygen. And anaerobic give lesser energy, that's 2 ATP. 2 ATP. While this one give more energy, 38 ATP. Right? What's the byproduct of anaerobic? CO2 alcohol, as well as your lactic acid. So I say alcohol or lactic acid. Why? The byproduct here is CO2 and H2O. Are you seeing that? I gave you 6 difference. I'm also going to align them in this class. So let's see the question. The question say anaerobic respiration different from aerobic respiration by less amount of energy and water. Yes, anaerobic has less amount of energy, 2 ATP. But anaerobic byproduct is CO2 and alcohol. It's aerobic that has CO2 and water. So option A first is what is wrong. Option B say greater amount of energy. Greater amount of energy is for aerobic. So option B is what wrong. C say less amount of energy. Yes, aerobic has 2 ATP and alcohol. Yes, the byproduct of anaerobic is CO2, making this is very correct. Let's see option D, greater amount of energy. No, anaerobic has less amount of energy. So this is wrong, making option C the correct answer. Of course, option C become the correct answer. Now let me list the difference again. 6 differences between aerobic and what anaerobic.
Hold on a bit very quickly. This class you're watching right now is just one out of a series of classes within the LearnLift app. And guess what? LearnLift is a mobile app, right, where you study intensively as well as extensively. So within the LearnLift app, you can see it very quickly. You have access to all your subjects there. You have your use of English, you have your mathematics, you have your physics, you have your chemistry, you have your biology, you have your Jamb 400. All of them, they are different subjects within the LearnLift app. And of course, you have different topics under every particular subject, and everything has been narrowed down to you, down to the curriculum, with their past questions and everything to the core. And don't forget that within the LearnLift app, you have access to your video lessons, where you can start going through your classes uninterrupted. You have access to your notes. Oh yes, your notes, well organized, well structured for you, and you are running through all of them. And of course, inside the notes are past questions for you. You have access to your past questions in CBT format, where you can go through all of them extensively well. All of it within the LearnLift app for you and more. And guess what? Very important. You want to download the LearnLift app, all you need to just do is head down to Play Store or your App Store and type LearnLift. That's all. Once you type LearnLift, of course, the app is going to pop up for you, and you're going to see the logo, and then you download the app, and then you follow up on your studies intensively. Before we proceed, let's get back to class. Flow with me.
Statement number 1, aerobic occurs in most animals and plants, but anaerobic occurs in lower organisms like bacteria and your fungi, as well as the cells of lower organisms. Are you seeing that? Number 2, statement that in aerobic, oxygen is needed. In anaerobic, no oxygen is what needed. You need to understand this because these are where the questions revolve around. Oxygen is needed, oxygen is not needed. Number 3, greater amount of what? ATP. We said they have greater amount of energy. Aerobic has 38 ATP, while anaerobic has just less amount of energy, that's 2 ATP. Are you seeing that? Everybody was number 1, they occur in this one occur in animal, this one occur in bacteria. This one, oxygen is needed, oxygen is not what needed. Greater amount of what? Energy. Write all these things somewhere and be calling them every day. And number 4, what's the byproduct of aerobic? CO2 and water are the byproduct. But for anaerobic, we said CO2, alcohol, and lactic acid are their byproduct. Are you seeing it? And take note of number 5, sugar is completely oxidized. I explained this. Sugar is in respiration, sugar is completely oxidized. But in anaerobic, sugar is incompletely oxidized. And what's number 6? Number 6, take note that aerobic occur in mitochondria as well as cytoplasm, while anaerobic occur in just cytoplasm. I stressed this when I was teaching cell, that anaerobic occur in cytoplasm, or aerobic occur both in cytoplasm and your mitochondria. Aerobic occur both in cytoplasm and mitochondria, but anaerobic occur in cytoplasm. These are the 6 differences between aerobic and take them over and over and over. The constant question they ask is majorly about 3 and 4. Greater amount of energy and their byproduct. Greater amount of energy and their byproduct. Do you understand? Let's see the next question. Let's be very fast because we have a lot to go. Floating microheterotrophs are now calm down. There are 3 things you found in water. Number 1, we're able to call your planktons. What I call them? Planktons. And we're able to call your benthos. I'm going to give you the diagram, benthos. And we're able to call your nectons. Who are planktons? The word planktons are organisms that float on top of water. That's why I put them on top. They float on top. This one, so let's call them top. Benthos, this one, they are the bottom. That's why they call them benthos. Now, what are nectons? Nectons are organisms that can either be on top or they can be. So, what are examples of planktons? Those things, anything that can flow on top of water are said to be what? Your planktons. Are you seeing that? Why benthos are those things you find at the base of water. Nectons are those ones that can like any animal that can go up and that can come down. Those ones are animals. Now, these planktons now divided into 2. We're able to call your phyto. The word phyto means plant, and we're able to call what? Zoo. So phytoplanktons are plants that stay on top of water. Zooplanktons are animals that stay on top of water. Anytime you hear zoo, animals, phyton, plants, that's why your plant kingdom, you hear them saying fighter, fighter. We have your pteridophyta, your bryophyta, your pteridophyta, spermatophyta. Anytime you hear phyto, fighter are said to be what? Plants. So the question say floating micro. First of all, if it's floating, it is what? A plankton. They now say floating microscopic heterotroph. Who are heterotroph? These are what? Animals, because animals do not manufacture their own food. They are said to be called what? Heterotroph. While plants manufacture their own food, they are said to be called what? Autotroph. Right? So they now say floating microscopic heterotroph are, for you to be floating, you are a plankton. For you to be heterotrophic, that means you are animal. Animal are called zoo. So what become the answer? They are said to be called zooplanktons, making option B to become the word answer. Do you understand the difference between plankton, nectons, and vectors? So nectons, I'll explain what nectors are. I've explained phytoplankton and zooplankton. While microbes are small organisms like your fungi, your bacteria, they are said to be what? Microbes. Do you understand? Now, let me give you a mental picture. We said option B become the word answer. Look at it, everybody. You see those ones that stay on top of water are called your planktons. While this one that stay at the base of water are called your benthos. Those ones that can go up and come down I call your what? Your nectons. Are you seeing them? Crayfish are said to be what? Your pythons. You can see from here. All this anything that flows on top of water. Why? Snail, all these ones are said to be called your what? Your benthos. Do you understand? Why? Pythons can be two. If you are a plant, you are a phytoplankton. If you are an animal, you are zooplankton. Do you understand? Now, quickly, let's see another question. Stomata pores. Stomata pores open when there is, I taught this in cell and in the environment when we talk about your closing. And now what causes open and closing of stomata? First, what causes stomata to open and close is called the guard cell. Guard cell is what makes stomata to open and what? Close. Stomata open and close because of the guard cell. Now, for the stomata to open, what causes opening of the stomata? Turgidity. And what causes closing? Flaccidity. I explained that. Now, what's turgidity? Swelling. And for you to swell, what happened? It means that the internal environment is more concentrated than the outer environment. When the internal environment of that guard cell is more concentrated, that means it has more solute than solvent. Because solvent is what? Is water. Solute can be sugar, can be salt. So when the internal environment of the guard cell, that means if the guard cell has more sugar or more salt, it's going to, than the external environment, the guard cell is going to swell. And when the guard cell swell, what happens? The stomata pore will open. But when it loses, when the external environment is more concentrated than the internal environment, what happens? It will lose water, it will come flaccid and it will close. So let's see the question. The question says stomata pore open when, option A say, when there is increase in sugar content of the guard cell. Of course, we say the guard cell is what causes opening and closing of stomata. When the concentration of the guard cell increases, that means it has more, the internal environment is more concentrated than the outer. What can cause concentration of the internal environment? Is that salt or sugar? The question say increase in sugar. Yes, increase in sugar will cause it to become turgid, right? And that's practically the answer. Option C say decrease in osmotic pressure. Osmotic pressure, when we talk about osmotic pressure, taking osmotic pressure also work with concentration. When you say osmotic pressure, decrease in osmotic pressure, you are trying to say that the volume of solute will decrease. Are you seeing that? And which is not so. Option C talk about decrease in sugar content. No, this is wrong, and this increase in sugar content of the what? Mesophyll. Now, they say increase in content of the mesophyll. Now, increase in sugar content is correct, but is it of mesophyll? Is of guard cell? So this is wrong. This one say decrease in sugar. First of all, it's not decrease in sugar. It has to be increase in sugar, and the answer mesophyll is also wrong, making option A to become the answer. What causes opening of stomata pore is turgidity. And what causes turgidity? When the guard cell concentration is increased more than the internal environment. That means the guard cell is more concentrated than the external water environment. I'll give you a mental picture of cell. Option A becomes the answer. Look at this. Now, everybody, I explained this when I was teaching cell and environment. This is the guard cell. This is the guard cell. And you can see that. Now, this is what we call this guard cell has content. Of course, all cellulose organisms. You can see that this is the vacuole, this is the chloroplast, this is the nucleus, and so you can see it. Now, this guard cell, now when it is more concentrated, when the internal environment is more concentrated than the environment, water will move in, it becomes turgid. And when it becomes turgid, it will open. Here now, water is moving out. As water is moving out, what happens? It becomes flaccid. It will close. I'll give another diagram. Look at this diagram. What can you see? Water is moving in. As water is moving in, what happens? It become turgid. Look at it, cell turgidity. Are you seeing that water is moving in, become what? Turgid. And because it become turgid, the stomata will open. Look at it. Are you seeing that? But here now, what happens is losing water. Look at the arrow. Look at it. Cell turgidity. It will open. Look at the arrow, shows that water is moving in. But here, water is moving out. It's going to become flaccid. And it will what? It will close. Do you understand? What causes open and closing of stomata? Turgidity and what? Flaccidity. We now say what is turgidity when the internal environment is more concentrated than the outer. Water will move in. Do you understand? If you miss any one of this nature, I'm going to blow you. Next question. The question says, oozing of water from leaves in humid environment is known as option A, say transpiration, B, say osmosis, C, say genocytosis, D, talk about guttation. Everybody pick an answer. Everybody pick an answer. You can pause it and choose your answer. Oozing of water from leaves is known as option A, say transpiration, B, say osmosis, C, say genocytosis. This talk about what? Guttation. Now look at it, guys. Now, first of all, what's osmosis? Osmosis is movement of water molecules. Abi? Now, but the question here is the movement of water from leaves. It cannot be osmosis. Cytosis talk about excreting something out, but they say gyno, so that has not to do with water. This is wrong. It's not between guttation and transpiration. Who can tell me what becomes the answer? The answer is what? Is guttation. I know you'll be saying one water is moving out is transpiration. Yes, both of them are movement of water, but there's the difference. Transpiration is a movement of water vapor. The question is not say movement of water vapor. The question is oozing out of water from leaves. Are you seeing that? Transpiration is the movement of water vapor, while the movement of just water itself is what? Is guttation. Now, making option D to become the answer. Let me show you the diagram so you understand. This is what we call guttation. You can see water is moving out, not in the form of vapor. Water, normal water molecules are moving out. That's guttation. Now, let me give you the difference between guttation and transpiration. Look at this diagram. What can you see? This one, water is moving out. This is water vapor moving out. Water vapor. But this one, what is moving out is water molecules. Do you understand the difference between transpiration and guttation? In transpiration, water vapor moves out, but in guttation, water molecules. That's why he said option D become the word answer. Let's take another question. The sign plus is, we talk about this when we're talking about association in ecology. The sign plus is to indicate an association where an organism gains, while 0 is to indicate where the organism is not affected. What relationship between what is plus and 0? Now take note that there are 3 relationships. We have plus, which is benefits. We have negative, which is harm. We have 0, which is for neutral. You need to know this relationship. I'm going to give you the summary. There are just 6. Now, let's look at all of them. What's predation? Predation is simply plus stroke minus, where one gains, the other is harmed. That's predation. What's parasitism? Parasitism too is a type of predation, or predation is a type of parasitism, where one gains, the other is what? Harmed. Competition. What's competition? Competition is what? Negative. What's negative? Both of them are, anytime you are competing, it's affecting you, it's also affecting me, because you are going to, anytime there's competition, both parties are affected. Now, what's commensalism? One is gaining, the other is neither gaining nor harm. That's why I call it what? Positive stroke or 0, which is one is benefiting, the other is neither harm or benefiting. So what becomes the answer? The answer when there is plus negative, that's option what? Option B. Option B become the word answer. I gave you the acronym to note that anytime you see positive, it means benefit. Negative means harm, and 0 means what? Neutral. And I give you the 6. You should know this is summary of the 6, because you can answer all past questions you are going to ask. Oh, what are the 6? The first one is what to call your what? Your neutralism, which is 0. Neither anybody is gaining. Neutralism. Neither gain nor affected. The second is what to call your what? Your predation, which is positive, negative. One is gaining, one is affected. Parasitism also follow this nature. One is gaining, one is affected. Take note that we also about to call your what? Your competition. Negative. Both of them are affected. And number 5, we have what to call your commensalism. Positive 0, where one gain. And this is the constant one they majorly ask. And number 6 is what to call your what? Your mutualism or symbiosis. Both of them are what? Are gaining. Are you seeing that? There's a type here talking about, we want to talk about that later. I should move. Quickly, there's another one called allelopathy. I want you to check it out. Allelopathy, where it's a type of commensalism, where I will let me say that I'm not going to give you it. Check it out, because it has been asked just once. So go through that. Quickly, let's see another question. The question says that we are revising the constant question that have been asked consistently. So a food substance was treated with few drops of Sudan 3 test, and a red color was obtained, the food obtained is, in fact, without even seeing the option. I explained food tests to you. I gave you 3 tests for carbohydrates, 3 tests for protein, 3 tests for fat. Who can remember them fast? Let's revise. I'm going to still give you. Now, let's first of all do for protein. For protein, we talk about million tests, right? Million reagent tests, right? We talk about your burette tests, and we'll talk about your xanthoprotein tests. The word xantho means yellow, so it should be red. It should give you red, orange precipitate. Now, when we talk about carbohydrates, test for carbohydrates are now divided into 2. Either you are testing for starch or you are testing for what? For glucose. For starch, there are 2. Number 1, we have your Fehling test, which will give you red precipitate, right? After Fehling test, we have what to call your Benedict test. After your Benedict test, the third one we now have for test for starch. Test for starch is iodine test, which give you blue black. Those are the 3 tests for carbohydrates. Now, let's now talk about the test for your fats. There are 3. Number 1, we have Sudan 3 test, which will give you red precipitates. And you can see Sudan 3 test that they tell you to Sudan 3, and they say it's red precipitate, red color. So that's for fat. Sudan 3 test. Number 3, we'll talk about your transparent paper, translucent paper, right? And number 4, we'll talk about osmic acid tests. That's number 3. 3 tests for fat. So when you hear Sudan 3 tests, it should give you what for fat, and it is red color. Do you understand? Making option C to become. Let me give you the summary fast so that you will know. Everybody, what are the food tests? Talk about tests for protein. Number 1, talk about your million reagents to give you brick red precipitate. Now, majorly a lot of them are brick red. I'll tell you the ones that are different now. Million reagents, brick red. The second, talk about your burette test, which will give you your violet or your purple color, violet or purple color. And the second one is what to call your xanthoproteinic test, which is your xanthoprotic test, which will give you red. The word xantho means yellow. So that's how we say orange. Or sometimes say red or orange precipitate. And you see now, your million reagent, please. Reagent test is very important. Million reagent test, your burette test, your xanthoprotein test. Now let's not talk about tests for your carbohydrates. On that carbohydrate, we'll test for glucose, which is sugar. Right? The first is what to call your Fehling test, which is brick red precipitate. Brick red precipitate, that's your Fehling test. The second is what to call your Benedict test, which will give you orange or red. Are you seeing it? And the next one we're going to talk about test for your starch, which is your iodine test for starch, iodine test, and iodine test is blue black, iodine test, blue black. Are you seeing? So that's the test for carbohydrate. Well, let's go for test for fats. On that test of fat, we said we have Sudan 3 tests, which give you red precipitate. We have your translucent paper, we have your osmic acid test. So the first one is your Sudan 3 test, which give red color. We have your translucent paper test. When you drop oil that's fat in paper, you can look through the paper, you can see that's how we say your transparent paper spot. And the last one is what called your osmic acid test, which is black precipitate. So virtually all of them are red except for your osmic test, which is your black precipitate. We also talk about your purple or your violence color. So please think about the test for color. Write it somewhere. I also give it in the notes. Hopefully all these things are also available in the notes. So write it somewhere. Go through it until so that if you drop any question, I make up my mind. I'm not going to miss one. You must join the 350 plan. Take note. Quickly, let's see question 9. Question 9. See the mode of feeding in amoeba and hydra. Amoeba and hydra animals. Animals undergo what? Heterotrophic. While plants undergo what? Autotrophic. Now, take on that heterotrophic is also called holozoic because animals are called zoo animals. So we say holozoic. While autotrophic are also called holophytic. Autotrophic are also called what? Holophytic. Are you seeing that? So heterotrophic, holozoic, autotrophic is also called your holophytic. So it cannot be autotrophic because this is for plants, this is for plants. Symbiotic is when that's plus. Both it's a relation, it's a feeding relationship. Both of them benefit, so it cannot be. So amoeba and hydra undergo to go heterotrophic mode of nutrition, making option A to become the word answer. Quickly, as to wrap up this first part, the next question is which of the following organism does not exist as a free living cell? We said when I was teaching cell and environment, we said that cell can exist one as a single organism. Under single organism, we say apectipi. That's look at it, apectipi. Apectipi. Amoeba, paramecium, your euglena, your chlamydomonas. Why T is trypanosoma, P is plasmodium. That's as a single cell. Well, we'll not talk about as a colony. As a colony, number one, we'll talk about your volvus, your urulida, and your pandurida. Volvus, urulida, and pandurida. We'll not talk about as a filament. Who can give me an example of filament, spirogyral filament. Why as organism, which is man, animals, and so. So the cluster cell, which of this does not exist as a single cell. Paramecium, look at it, apectipi. Paramecium is a single cell. I gave you the acronym for single cell, apectipi. Amoeba is single cell. Chlamydomonas is single cell. Volvus, of course, volvus is not single cell. Volvus is a what? Is a colony. So making volvus to become the word answer. Volvus become the word answer. Look at it. I told you forms of cell. Number one, we said cell can exist as a what? Single cell. That's a cellular. What's my acronym? Apectipi. Apectipi. Amoeba, paramecium, eugenia, chlamydomonas, trypanosoma, plasmodium. Are you seeing that? Well, as a colony, we have your volvus, urodina, and your pandorrhea. I taught that. And we also have as a filament, spirogyral filament, right? And we'll talk about as a colony, as an organism, man. Any animal that is complete is said to be what? So those are the forms. Look at it. This is a volvus, which volvus is made up of chlamydomonas, right? Look at it. A volvus is a chlamydomonas colony. Look at it. Different chlamydomonas, they form like a cycle. It's called your volvus. I explained that in that class. Quickly, this is everything about this first part. Are you saying go through the notes? CBT. Now there's CBT for this first 10 part. Ensure you practice and get all. We are going all the way to 400. When we are done with you, you will enter biology. When we are done with you, you will enter the exam. You will be coughing out biology. For biology, why for physics, you'll be copying out physics. For each subject, if you now get below 350, let me see the devil that will cause it. You must join the 350 gang. So ensure you are in our WhatsApp community, as we give you daily word updates. If you say you understand that, I'll see you in the Jamb 400 biology series in part 2. Sapio may be taking that part, but I'll see you in that. But for now,
this class you just finished watching, of course, is brought to you by what? By the LearnLift app. Oh yes. And within the LearnLift app, you have access to all your classes from the beginning to the end. Everything is well organized for you. Every singular subject, every singular topic followed in line directly with your syllabus and your curriculum. And of course, can I tell you something lovely about the LearnLift app? Oh, this is the sweet part of it. You have access to your Jamb classes within the LearnLift app. You have access to your WAEC, your NECO, your GC classes. You have access to your post-UTME classes. And that's not all. Of course, for your secondary school, you have access to your secondary school classes, whether SS1, SS2, SS3. You have access to your classes directly. And of course, if you're in the university, you have access to your 100 level as well as 200 level classes, all within the LearnLift app. And of course, your 200 level classes are for medical students. All of them are there, well structured and highly organized for you. But please, before you proceed, just head down to your Play Store or your App Store and just type what? LearnLift. Immediately you type LearnLift, of course, the app is going to pop up for you and you download the app and then you start learning immediately. And also very quickly, all you're going to do is that in the description of this video or in the comment section, just open it. You see the link to our WhatsApp channel. Click on it and you are in the WhatsApp channel already, where I'm going to be dropping information every blessed day on a regular basis. And also very important, if you want to reach out to LearnLift, this is LearnLift contact, any of the two, right? Just copy it down and then WhatsApp us, right? Either you send WhatsApp message or you put a call across to us and all of that, and we're going to attend to you immediately. Guess what? I'll see you in the next chapter. For the now, peace out. Bye.